तव कथामृतम् तप्तजीवनम् कविभिरीडितम् कल्मषापहम् श्रवणमङ्गलम् श्रीमदाततम् भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः।
ॐ तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जना. We are studying the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna and the conversations of 9th August 1885. Now we read up to English page 832 yesterday, but I got a new light on some of it. So we go back to page 830. He has been telling many of his experiences, many. But something new he will be telling here. Sri Ramakrishna came down to the floor and sat near Mahima Charan. We are going back to this paragraph toward the end of 830. We should announce the Bengali page also, isn't it? Keshav Sen, Tindindore. Oh, right, Tritiya Parichet, 894. 894, Tritiya Parichet. We are going back there. And sat near Mahimacharan. M and a few other devotees were near him. Rakhal also was in the room. Master to Mahima. For a long time, I wanted to tell you my spiritual experiences, but I could not. I feel like telling you today. So I could not. Means that was not the proper time when you could have understood. That is the meaning. But today Mahima is accepting many things which the master is telling. And so he wants to tell him now. This is something top. You may call it top secret. You may call it top understanding. So let us see what it is now. Deepest understanding you may call it. You say, he has picked up from that thread. You say that by mere sadhana, one can attain a state of mind like mine. But it is not so. There is something special here referring to himself. So this is the point. He wants to tell Mahima now, because Mahima is in a position to accept what he is telling, that he is an incarnation. And everything about incarnation is totally different from any other sadhaka. He may be realized, he may be Ishwar Koti, he may be this or that, but incarnation is God himself. That is totally different. And that he wants to tell now. Rakhal and others became eager to hear what the master was going to say, because they understood something very special is coming. Master, God talked to me. It was not merely his vision. Yes, he talked to me. Under the banyan tree, I saw him coming from the Ganges. Then we laughed so much with God. By way of playing with me, he cracked my fingers. See, God cracked his fingers. So, what you see from here, God is like his fast friend. Then he talked. Yes, he talked to me. For 3 days, I wept continuously. And he revealed to me what is in the Vedas, the Puranas, the Tantras, and the other scriptures. Can anybody find like that? Without going through those books, can anybody find like that? I remember something here. Let me tell you that first now. Let me tell you something, which this made me remember something. Mahapurush Maharaj, you have seen his photo like this, bare-bodied, little bent, and saluting like this. Now it is a photo. Had it been video, you could have understood something more. He was muttering, Ramakrishna, Ramakrishna, Ramakrishna. My Guruji went to him and said, why are you muttering Ramakrishna, Ramakrishna? He said, what? Shall I not take God's name? My master said, my Guruji, was Ramakrishna God? Then he says, what do you mean? What was he? My Guruji said, he was a man. How do you say so? My Guruji said, because he did so many sadhanas. Does God do sadhana? Does God require sadhana? Does he do sadhana? Only a man does sadhana to get God. At that point, Mahapurush Maharaj stood up from the chair. He became, there is no word for that, excited, if you like to call it, spiritually aroused. He stood up and said, show me which sadhana shows that he is man. Which sadhana? Only because he did sadhana, so he is a man. Which sadhana? And he narrated sadhana after sadhana. Totapuri's Vedanta. Thakur realized it in 1 day or 3 days. Totapuri said, 40 years I struggled. And Totapuri said, Eka Devi Maya. And then he said, can a man do like this? Can a superman do like this? Can a saint do like this? Take another sadhana. Bhairavi Brahmani brought a naked woman and asked Thakur to sit on her lap and do japam. Thakur sat on her lap and went into samadhi. Can a man do like this? Can a superman do like this? Can a saint do like this? And he narrated sadhana after sadhana, 10, 15, whatever. It is sadhana which reveals more that he is God. My Guruji said, I was feeling another thing. Here is a son of God. Can anybody talk like this as he is talking? That is the scene which came to my mind. Understand? So Thakur is telling here, and he revealed to me what is in the Vedas, the Puranas, the Tantras, and the other scriptures. For 3 days I wept continuously. So that is incarnation. He appears to do sadhana. He appears to be madly yearning for God vision. That is one side. That itself is a lesson to all of us. That itself is a sign of incarnation. Has anybody felt yearning of the type Thakur felt? And then God is his friend and talking, and without reading those books, he revealed to me the Vedas, the Puranas, the Tantras, and the other scriptures. Now this has both meanings. Thakur's incarnation is a copy of God, if you say. The other thing is that this is a role model for us. If we weep for a thing sincerely from a heart for 3 days, we can get anything in the world. But the problem is nobody of us is fit enough, ready enough to weep for 3 days. You see, if we start weeping, after 10 minutes we'll forget for what we are weeping. And within short time, we'll forget realization of God. 3 days. One day, he showed me the Maya of Mahamaya. Now, at this point, a further point I wanted to tell for itself, he showed me what does it mean. After Nirvikalpa Samadhi, Thakur is an incarnation. In his mind it came. That is what is the meaning of he told me. In Thakur's, we read in the great master that Bhavamukh passage. The universal mind, that is what we call God. And Thakur's mind is identified with that universal mind because he is the God appearing as man. And there it occurred to him these things, he says, God told me. He showed me the Maya of Mahamaya. Mahamaya appears like a power of God. And Maya is the power of delusion. That is the difference. Maya of Mahamaya, there has to be difference, otherwise the off will not connect. So Mahamaya, and there is a capital M there, is God's power to appear as this word. And small Maya means it deludes a man, the power of delusion. A small light inside a room began to grow, and at last it enveloped the whole universe. That is the universal Chaitanya. Further, he revealed to me a huge reservoir of water covered with green scum. The wind moved a little of the scum, and immediately the water became visible. But in the twinkling of an eye, scum from all sides came dancing in and again covered the water. He revealed to me that the water was like such. Thakur's visions are also non-peril. He revealed to me that the water was like Satchidananda and the scum like Maya. On account of Maya, Satchidananda is not seen. Though now and then one may get a glimpse of it, again Maya covers it. I am not going to dwell upon the meaning of the visions. Only show you that every vision shows that he is God in man form. God revealed the nature of the devotees to me before they arrived. So this also, in Thakur's mind itself, it has come. God revealed to me. I saw Chaitanya's party singing and dancing near the Panchavati, between the banyan tree and the bakul tree. I noticed Balram there. If it weren't for him, who would have there be to supply me with sugar candy and such things? So when God incarnates, he brings with him certain people to share his play. Some have to supply him physical things, some come as associates for carrying his work forward, and like that. Pointing to him, and I saw him also. He came because he had to write the gospel. That is also a part of the purpose of his incarnation. I had seen Keshav before I actually met him. I had seen him and his party in my samadhi. In front of me sat a room full of men. Keshav looked like a peacock sitting with his tail spread on. The tail meant his followers. I saw a red gem on Keshav's head. That indicated his rajas. He said to his disciples, please listen to what he, meaning Ramakrishna, is saying. I said to the Divine Mother, Mother, these people hold the views of Englishmen. That is, God is only Nirakar. Why should I talk to them? Then the mother explained to me that it would be like this in Kali Yuga. So he is the incarnation for Kali Yuga. He appears as man also. So in man form, that doubt comes. Mother shows means he goes to his real nature and there the explanation comes. Keshav and his followers got from here the names of Hari and the Divine Mother. So, as much as possible, they were Indianized, they were spiritualized by Thakur. That is why the Divine Mother took Vijay away from Keshav's party. Because Vijay was a Goswami and he had signed, I'll only Nirakar. But that is why means Keshav did chant mother's name. But this Hari, the Vishnu, it went directly into Vijay's heart. And Vijay became fully a Vaishnava, seeking God through forms. That is the meaning. But Vijay did not join the Adi Samaj. Clear things are there if you go deep. Not that just Vijay split from him. There was the Adi Samaj, Devendranath Thakur's, and they also believed in Nirakar. So Vijay did not just split by ego to form another thing. He did not go there. See, clear? Pointing to himself, there must be something special here. Long ago, a young man named Gopal Sen used to visit me. He who is dwelling in this placed his foot on Gopal's chest. Gopal said in an ecstatic mood, you will have to wait here a long time. I cannot live any more with worldly people. He took a leave of me. Afterwards, I heard that he was dead. Perhaps he was born as Nitya Gopal. So, let alone those things, that Gopal knew that Thakur is an incarnation, that Thakur has a mission in life, and so you'll have to stay here longer. I had many amazing visions, which no other people have got up till now. I had a vision of the indivisible Satchidananda. Inside it, I saw two groups with a face between them. Satchidananda, Akhanda and Khandita. On one side were Kedar, Chuni and other devotees who believe in the personal God. On the other side was a luminous space like a heap of red black dust. Inside it was, that is luminous space. Inside it was seated Narendra, immersed in samadhi. Seeing him absorbed in meditation, I called aloud, "Oh Narendra!" He opened his eyes a little. I came to realize that he had been born in another form in Shimla. His vision is not telling him fully yet, but as it is required. Shimulia, in a caste of family. At once I said to the Divine Mother, Mother, entangle him in Maya. Otherwise, he will give up his body in Samadhi. You understand all the point? Thakur is incarnation. He has a mission to fulfill. And Narendra is going to be his chief helper in that mission. And if Narendra remembers his nature, he will go back into that quickly, he will not stay here. So mission will not be fulfilled. And so he told his mother, that means he himself willed it, understand, every time. he willed that Narendra should be bound in some sort of half knowledge. Knowledge you will get, but it will be covered so that much that he will be able to work in this world, not go away. You remember the shloka we are chanting every time about Swamiji, not in the gospel. Paratatve sada lino Ramakrishna samagya yo dharma sthapana rato viresham tam namamya. So if he remembers his Viresha, he will go away. But Ramakrishna Agya is doing dharma sthapana. So that is what Thakur in his universal mind as incarnation willed. He says, I told mother like that. Therefore, I feel, no. Kedar, a believer in the personal God, peeped in and ran away with a shudder. So the people who are deep into personal God are afraid of thinking of the impersonal God because they will lose them and they cannot exist. Narendra is a different type. He belongs to the undivided or the absolute and he will work provided he does not go back. While Kedar also did Thakur's work, but they will do only at a lower plane. Therefore, I feel that it is the Divine Mother herself who dwells in this body and plays with the devotees. So understood here. She alone stays here. That means Thakur is nothing but a form of the Divine Mother. Divine Mother is not a separate deity. Divine Mother means the universal God. And that exists in Thakur's body. When I first had my exalted state of mind, my body would radiate light. God light. God radiates light. So Thakur's body radiated light. My chest was always flushed. Then I said to the Divine Mother, Mother, do not reveal thyself outwardly. He purposefully does not want to show the Rajasic power which he has. In Krishna's time, it was different. His mission was to kill Asuras. Thakur has not killed anybody. Now, if this luminous body people see, please go inside. That is why my complexion is so dull now. If my body were still luminous, people should have tormented me. A crowd would have always been here, thronged here. That means people seeing the glorious God will want this or want this or want this or want this. That is like torment. He wants only spiritually inclined people to come to him, who can understand him even with the dull body. Now there is no outer manifestation. That keeps weeds away. In a garden, along with the proper crop, some things grow which thwart the growth of the main plants. And so they have to be weeded away. That keeps weeds away. Oh, how glorious is this spiritual incarnation. Only genuine devotees will remain with me now. Do you know why I have this illness? It has the same significance. Same significance, huh? Genuine devotees and non-genuine devotees. Those whose devotion to me has a selfish motive behind it will run away at the sight of this illness. That is real, glorious spiritual incarnation. Now people love Thakur because of spirituality, but in that a tinge of selfishness is there. In the Great Master, as an appendix, there is a chapter called the human side of Master. And there you will see all these points described, analyzed in great detail by Swami Saradananji. I'm not bringing it here. I request you all to read that. After the Gurubhav Uttarartha, there is an appendix. There you please read all this. I have a case at hand. It becomes a little personal, but I am giving it an example. My eldest brother, for many days, carried Sri Krishna's photo in a frame with him. He kept it on his table. That was his ideal. But after that, in the same frame, he had Napoleon. In the same frame, he had Edison, the great physicist. He had composed a poem also on Edison in Marathi. So I understood he was after greatness. He worshipped Thakur because Thakur was testing him. And he found that there is a trace of other things in him. And so he left it. Later on, I heard him saying one day that he adored Thakur, but when he understood that Thakur suffered from cancer, his respect for Thakur was lost. Understood? So he wanted the Rajasic glory. I think I have told enough. Now, the photo had come from one another devotee, Dharmashil. And I got that photo later on from him in the same frame. The frame was different, of course. Do you know I have the illness? It has the same significance. Those whose devotion to me has a selfish motive behind it will run away at the sight of my illness. I cherished the desire. I said to the mother, "Oh mother, I shall be the king of the devotees." Now this also one has to understand. Desire. Shankaracharya has discussed in one place of his commentary. We think God has no desire. That is only a perfected soul. God does have desire, Sadhan Swamiji has discussed there. No, Shankara's commentary in one place he says, God has desire, but he is God because his desires differ from our desires in many ways. First is, if you have desire, we will have to work physically to get that desire. God does not have to work physically. He desires, it comes to him. Second, many of our desires die unfulfilled. There is no such thing with God. He desires and that has to be fulfilled. Thirdly, we have to work out that, no, his desire is irresistible. What he desires has to come out. Our desires are thwarted by friends or society. So, like that, you have discussed differences. God has desire. And he asks, why should God have not desires? God has free will. That explains at a stroke Thakur, Holy Mother, and all that. Again, this thought arose in my mind. It does not call it desire here. He who sincerely prays to God will certainly come here. He must. You see, that is happening now. Only people of that kind come. How many? Can we call hints? How much openly, if we read between the lines, he is declaring he is the incarnation for this age. My parents knew who dwells inside this body. Yes. Father had a dream at Gaya. In that dream, Raghuveer said to him, I shall be born as your son. And his mother also had a vision in front of Shiva temple. God alone dwells inside this body. Such renunciation of woman and God, such renunciation of woman and God, has anybody imagined? Could I have accomplished that myself? I have never enjoyed a woman even in a dream. Myself means as a human being. Up to this, you had read yesterday. But because of the new light which came to me today, I read again. Nangta instructed me in Vedanta. In 3 days, I went to Samadhi. At the sight of my Samadhi under the Madhavi vine, he was quite taken aback and exclaimed, what is this? Then he came to know who resides in this body. He said to me, please let me go. That we know that incident. So in between, Thakur is telling he came to know who resides in this body and then requested me, please let me go. At these words of Tatapari, I went into an ecstatic mood and said, you cannot go till I realize the truth of Vedanta. Day and night I lived with him. We talked only Vedanta. The Brahmani used to say to me, don't listen to Vedanta. It will injure your devotion to God. But he knows more than Brahmani. I said to the Divine Mother, Mother, please get me a rich man. If you don't, how shall I be able to protect this body? How shall I be able to keep the sadhus and devotees near me? That is why Mathur Babu provided for my needs for 14 years. Mathur Babu saw in Thakur's body Shiva and Kali both. He who dwells in me tells me beforehand what particular class of devotees will come to me. It is so clear. God and me and Mother Teresa and I see, he himself sees. I will tell you a little more incident. It is only in the last days of Sri Ramakrishna. One day, Girish Babu's younger brother, Atul, was guarding Thakur in the Kashipur house in the last days. No other disciple was there. He was sitting near on Thakur's cot itself. And though the days were hot summer, Thakur, because of cancer and all that, Thakur was feeling tremendous cold. So a thick sheet was covering his body. And suddenly Atul saw that so much light is coming out of that sheet. So he paid attention and he saw luminous Radha and Krishna both lying there instead of Thakur. He was startled, he ran away and told the other devotees, when I have a vision of Gauranga, I know the devotees of Gauranga are coming. When I have a vision of Kali, the Shaktas come. At the time of the evening service, I used to cry out from the roof of the kuti, weeping, "Oh, where are you all? Come to me." You see, they are all gathering here one by one. He called because he is a samashti. His call was not only spread around Dakshineshwar, whole world it sounded, and they came. God himself dwells in this body. It is he who, of his own accord, is working with these devotees. Working with these devotees of his own accord. That means they are all associates of him. What a wonderful state of mind some of the devotees have. The younger, that means by they are Thakur's associates, and by Thakur's influence, they have got this. The younger Naren gets Kumbhaka without any effort, and Samadhi too. Thakur has told Kumbhaka is the restraining of the breath, usually practiced by Patanjali yogis, but Thakur has said, if you have bhakti, it automatically leads to Kumbhaka. And so, also Samadhi. So on the way to Samadhi, he gets that Kumbhaka. Sometimes he says, stays in an ecstatic mood for 2.5 hours, sometimes even more. How wonderful! I have practiced all kinds of sadhana. Who does it? Who even imagines it? Who thinks of it? Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga. So here, in our Gita talks, I was mentioning that let Shankar say anything. The Bhagavad Gita says Karma Yoga is a path. Here, another incarnation says, I practice Karma Yoga. Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga. Patanjali Yoga is not separately mentioned because it is an imperfect science, and the actual yoga in Gita is a part of karma. And the actual yoga is better described in the 6th chapter of the Gita, in Kathopanishad, in the Upanishads, Shatashatra Upanishad also. Vedantic way of looking at yoga we must understand. I have even gone through the exercises of Hatha Yoga to increase longevity, to tell us that it is not spiritual. There is another person dwelling in this body. Otherwise, after attaining Samadhi, how could I live with the devotees and enjoy the love of God? Another person is God himself. Kuvar Singh used to say to me, I have never before seen a person who has returned from the plane of Samadhi. You are none other than Nanak. From others' mouth he is telling that I live in the midst of worldly people on all sides. I see woman and gold. Nevertheless, this is the state of my mind, unceasing samadhi and bhava. That is the reason Pratap said at the sight of my ecstatic mood, good heavens, it is as if he were possessed by a ghost. Rakhal M and the others were speechless as they drank in this account of Sri Ramakrishna's unique experiences. But did Mahimacharya understand the importance of these words? Master Maharaj is reflecting here. Even after hearing them, he said to the Master, those things have happened to you on account of your meritorious actions in your previous past life. So, Prarabdha Karma, he thinks. Right? Mahima will still thought that Sri Ramakrishna was a sadhu or a devotee of God. The master nodded assent to Mahima's words and said, yes, the result of past actions. What actions? As Rama, as Krishna. God is like an aristocrat who has many mansions. Here is one of his drawing rooms. The Bhakta is God's drawing room. So he has the attitude of a Bhakta. It was 9 o'clock in the evening. That topic is over here. One of the most enchanted topics of the gospel. Sri Ramakrishna was sitting on the small coach. It was Mahimacharan's desire to form a Brahma Chakra in the presence of the master. That is some tantric practice. Yes. Mahima formed a circle on the floor with Rakhal, M, Kishori, and one or two other devotees. He asked them all to meditate. Rakhal went into an ecstatic state. The master came down from the coach and placed his hand on Rakhal's chest, repeating the name of the Divine Mother. Rakhal regained consciousness of the outer world. So that is like a play of it. It was 1 o'clock in the morning, the 14th day of the dark fortnight of the moon. There was intense darkness everywhere. One or two devotees were pacing the concrete embankment of the Ganges. Sri Ramakrishna was up. He came out and said to the devotees, Nanta told me that at this time, about midnight, one hears the Anahata sound. In the early hours of the morning, see, let the modern Vedantis hear. Totapuri knew all that. The yoga things come to Vedanta automatically. That's it. In the early hours of the evening, Mahima Charan and M lay down on the floor of the master's room. Rakhal slept on a camp cot. Now and then, Sri Ramakrishna paced up and down the room with his clothes off, like a 5-year-old child. So we have come to the end of that 9th August. We shift to, because next day has dawned there itself. So we shift to Monday, August 10th, 1885. It was dawn. The master was chanting. Do we not all feel a thrill to have undergone those conversations of Thakur? It was dawn. The master was chanting the name of the Divine Mother. He went to the porch west of his room and looked at the Ganges. Then he stopped in front of the pictures of different gods and goddesses in the room and bowed to them. This is all what the devotee should do. The devotees left their beds, saluted Sri Ramakrishna and went out. The master was talking to a devotee in the Panchavati. The latter had dreamt of Chaitanya Dev. Master in an ecstatic mood. Ami, devotee. But sir, it was only a dream. Master, is a dream a small thing? So, dreams, divine dreams are different from ordinary dreams which are declared to be unreal in the Gaudpada Karika. The master's voice was choked. His eyes were filled with tears to hear of that divine dream. Sri Ramakrishna was told of a devotee who had divine visions even while he was awake. The master said, I am not surprised. Narendra too sees forms of God nowadays. Mahimacharya went to one of the Shiva temples to the west of the room, west of the courtyard, and chanted hymns from the Vedas. He was alone. It was 8 o'clock in the morning. M bathed in the Ganges and came to Sri Ramakrishna. The Brahmani, who was grief-stricken on account of her daughter's death, also entered the room. The master asked the Brahmani to give M some prasad to eat. Brahmani, please eat something yourself first, then he will eat. Master to M, take some prasad of Jagannath first and then eat. So Jagannath prasad purifies everything in the body if any impurity has occurred. So take that first and then take food. All the subtleties of spiritual life. Then he returned to the master's room. That is Mahima. After eating the prasad, M went to the Shiva temples and saluted the deity. Then he returned to the master's room and saluted him. He was ready to go to Calcutta. Master tenderly, go home early safely. You have to attend to your duties. So that much is August 10th. Then again we get Tuesday, August 11th. Sri Ramakrishna was in his room at the temple garden. He had been observing silence since 8 o'clock in the morning. Did he know the foul nature of his illness? At his silence, the Holy Mother wept. Rakhal and Latu also wept. The Brahmani widow from Bagbazar arrived. She too was weeping at the strange mood of the master. Now and then, the devotees asked him whether he would remain silent for good. The master answered them in the negative by a sign. At 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Narayana arrived. Sri Ramakrishna said to him, the Divine Mother will bless you. Narayan told the other devotees that the master had spoken to him. A heavy weight was lifted from their breasts. They all came into the master's room and sat on the floor. Master to the devotees, the mother showed me that all this is verily Maya. She alone is real, and all else is the splendor of her Maya. Another thing was revealed to me. I found out how far the different devotees have progressed. Mother has told more about this. Thakur said, I was calculating how much everybody has progressed. And that mathematical calculation had made his face serious. And that was the exception. That is why Holy Mother wept. Others wept because she is weeping. She has said, I have never seen him Nirananda. And that was an exception. She could not contain herself. Devotees, please tell us about it. Master, I came to know about all these devotees, Nitya Gopal, Rakhal, Narayan, Purna, Mahima Chakravarti and the others. Now we jump Sunday, August 16, 1885. The news of Sri Ramakrishna's illness had been reported to the devotees in Calcutta. They thought it was just a sore in his throat. Many devotees arrived at Dakshineshwar to visit him. Among them were Girish, Ram, Nitya Gopal, Mahima, Kishori, and Pandit Shashadhar. Sri Ramakrishna was in his usual happy mood. He was talking to the devotees. Master, I cannot tell the mother about my illness. I feel ashamed to talk of it. You want to think of it. Girish, God will cure you. Girish's faith. Ram, yes, you will be all right. Master smiling. Yes, give me your blessing. So Thakur knows it is not like that. If they have power to cure him, let them give his blessing. Thakur, this is Thakur's joke and a taunt. Allah. Girish was a recent visitor to Dakshineshwar. The master said to him, "You have so many duties to perform. You have to face so many troubles. Come here only 3 times more." To Shashadhar, please tell us something about the Adya Shakti. Shashadhar, what do I know, sir? Master smiling. A certain man had great respect for another man. The second man asked him to bring him a little fire from the forest tobacco. This you should understand. There is a lot of hue and cry going on about Thakur smoking tobacco. We see in the olden days, every sannyasi had that habit of tobacco. Tobacco, I met one of our sannyasis some years back and I asked him, "Why do you smoke?" It's a courtesy, he said. And like people chew betel nut after food or pan, I smoke. Understood? That is the idea, not was. To bring him a little fire for his tobacco. He answered humbly, "Sir, am I fit to carry your fire?" He didn't bring the fire. Allah. Thakur wanted that Sheshadhar Tarkachudamani to talk something because he has read so many things. But he says, "Can I talk?" So he has given this beautiful, taunting, equivalent story. Now Sheshadhar starts talking. Yeah, he has got the pinch. Sheshadhar, the primal power alone is both the instrumental and the material cause of the universe. Material cause and instrumental cause, it is also called the intelligent cause. Nimitta karan, okay. Now, a potter from clay makes pots. So that clay is the material cause and that potter is the instrumental cause. Nimitta karan, upadan karan. It is she who has created the universe and its living beings. Further, she herself has become all these. To give an example, the spider, as the instrumental cause, makes the web, and as the material cause, brings the web out of his own body. Okay, Master. It is also stated that he who is Purusha is also Prakriti, the material also. He who is Brahman is also Shakti. He is called Purusha or Brahman when he is inactive. That is to say, when he ceases to create, preserve, or destroy. And he is called Shakti or Prakriti when he engages in those activities. But he who is Brahman is none other than Shakti. He who is Purusha has verily become Prakriti. Water is water, whether it moves or is still. A snake is a snake, whether it wriggles along or stays still and quiet. What Brahman is cannot be described. Speech stops there. In the Kirtan, the singers at first sing, "My Nitai dances like a Mata Hathi, mad elephant." This is given in Bengali because it's important in the example. As they become more and more ecstatic, they only hardly utter the whole sentence. They sing only hati hati. As their mood deepens, they sing only ha ha. As at last they cannot sing even that. They become completely unconscious. As the master spoke these words, he himself became transfixed in samadhi. He was standing. So that is always Thakur's case. If he talks something, it becomes that. Regaining consciousness of the world, he said, that which is beyond both Kshara and Akshara cannot be described. Kshara means body, Akshara means the indwelling soul. Beyond them is the Paramatman. The devotee sat in silence. Master, you cannot go into Samadhi as long as your worldly experiences are not finished or as long as you have duties to perform. To Shashadhar, God is now making you perform such duties as delivering lectures. You must do these things now. You will have peace when your duties are finished. After completing her household duties, the mistress of the family goes for her bath. She will not come back then, even if you shout after her. Thursday, August 17. Huh? How? Sunday, August 16 is wrong, perhaps. No? Ah, Monday, August 10. What is wrong? If Sunday is August 16, my reading was wrong. Thursday, August 27, 1885. Sri Ramakrishna was sitting in his room at Dakshineshwar. It was 5 o'clock in the afternoon. There were 2 or 3 devotees with him. Okay, we stop here. So we are stopped at August 27. Oh, Om Tava Kathamrutam Tapta Jivanam Kavivireeditam Kalmashapam Shravanamangalam Srimadaatatam Bhui Grunanti Ye Bhurida Jana Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.